So let's talk about raging with or against the machine, a term popularized by the band Rage Against the Machine. The idea is that you're sticking it to the man, you're fighting the power, the rah rah, fighting the cause. Let's talk about a different kind of raging and a different kind of machine. For a moment here, there's definitely a perpetual outrage machine, or like POM, or I don't know if there's a way you can make it POS, but there's basically this outrage factory that exists on YouTube, and I kind of want to break that down and talk about it here a little bit. Give you a little bit of perspective, and maybe make you take a step back and reconsider what you're before you start raging about all these kind of things. There's there's a lot of stuff that actually needs to be addressed. Real stuff, real world stuff that's actually affecting people in a negative manner. Is getting overlooked for the sake of the whatever Tim Pool drama or whatever. Let's talk about that situation specifically, and why I think it's a good poignant example, or like a pointed example of why the the perpetual outrage machine must churn. Like it must churn, and it's very profitable. And if this perpetual outrage doesn't continue, then the people involved don't make money, and there's a lot of money to be made when you make people outraged. A lot of people will do things. Will humans are emotional like creatures more than anything. We like to say we're rational beings, but we're even the most rational person will at times will be driven by their emotions. So outrage, anger is a very powerful emotion, and it's probably one of the most powerful emotions. That's why there were so many things surrounding anger. Like, people like to be angry. People like to see people angry. It's just there's just a whole smorgasbord of things about seeing people angry and seeing people get riled up over something. And it exists on YouTube especially, and I've noticed that with this whole quartering Tim Pool thing, and Eliza Blue situation. Uh, Essentially, let's look at it from this perspective. You know, Quartering and Brittany Venti and a few others or whatever expose something about Eliza Blue. Okay, they do some digging. They find out that she's a liar, and a grifter about being trafficked or whatever. And if they this is just supposing that her story just is completely null and void. Um, okay, well, you brought that up. You've proven your point, and then the smart thing, or the not necessarily the smart thing, but the good thing would be to, like, the moral thing would to be to, like, bring that up, tell that person, okay, this person's a liar, and then move on. Like, that would be the end of it, right? But this perpetual outrage machine is very, like, people got very mad that Eliza Blue lied. Okay, I mean, she lied. Okay, I get it that she fooled people, but at the end of the day, why are you so concerned about this person who's a liar? Just say that they're a liar, ignore them, and move on. Like, that should be the end of it, right? Like, in theory, you would just ignore her and she would disappear into the background. Like, right? That would be the ideal. Like, is like, okay, now we can ignore this person forever because they're a liar. It's very much like a shunning them from society kind of. But the perpetual outrage machine, and people, even though I occasionally like some of the courting content, I don't, not a lot of it as much lately, just because of the outrage kind of factory that he's created. Um, there's definitely a profitability situation where he was clearly profiting off of those videos. Those videos get more views. He gets banned by from Twitter because he posted the Eliza Blue thing. And then all of a sudden he's talking about, oh, I got banned from Twitter, and then that's more content, that's more outrage, more just stacking it on top of this, and a lot of people just they feed into that drama, and they want to get into that drama machine because it's a very profitable drama machine. So you have all these people commentating on it, and you have all this situation going on, all these different commentators trying to grift their money off of this one situation, and creating, fueling this perpetual outrage machine. And honestly, I think that's basically what YouTube has become. If you actually want to make it or create content, I don't think if you're going to do, you can create legitimate content on YouTube. I've been the last few times that I've streamed on Rumble more. And I think that since the way YouTube's going, it's probably going to be better to be on Rumble anyway. Um, but this perpetual outrage machine over the whole Eliza Blue thing, and getting up in arms, and then the reason that Tim Pool gets brought into it is because she just happened to be on his show. Okay, Tim Pool, answer why did you have this person on your show, and why did they? Okay, if you want to ask that question, that's fine. But Tim Pool clearly didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to deal with it. I think partially because of his ego, saying like, okay, well, I vet all my guests and I make sure like I wouldn't let some kind of goofy grifter into my, onto my show or whatever. That's sort of the ego, I think, more than anything. Temple. It wasn't that he was trying to cover for Eliza. I think it was just an ego. Like he didn't want to admit that he may have made a mistake. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's covering for Eliza Blue," and their YouTubers are doing this rage bait of like, "He's covering for Tim Pool's covering for Eliza Blue. He's in her paid PR," and then that I think that's why he just started trolling all of you because you guys were so insane that, and then you're like, "Oh, look what Tim Pool said. We're a paid PR kit." Well, you said that he had a paid PR kit. You guys are saying all kinds of crazy stuff too. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Like I like a good conspiracy theory as as much as anybody else. Like they're funny to look at. Like I like to entertain them, and some of them are very interesting, right? Especially in the past few years, conspiracy theories have been very interesting. But this whole from the face of it, it's like, well, like Tim Pool's being paid by Eliza Blue. Okay, like the simplest thing, what like the simplest, like kind of like Occam's razor or whatever, is like the simplest solution is the most likely. I guess you're like the simplest scenario is probably the most likely. Is that Tim Pool didn't want to admit that he had made a mistake bringing on someone who grifted, and lied, and that was pretty much likely it. But the perpetual outrage machine and people who are raging with or against the machine, either you're raging with the machine because you're doing all this establishment junk, or you're raging against the machine and you're trying to get up in arms over the next culture war thing that you've been told to get into. Oh well, now it's a war against Tim Pool. Blah 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 blah. All this kind of like no. I'm gonna make that choice for myself. Thank you. I'm not gonna be involved in your little spat because you and your buddy aren't getting along right now. I'm not gonna be involved with that. I'm not gonna get up in arms over it, and I'm not gonna entertain it. Like because it's a complete waste of time. When there are much worse things going on in the world right now. Now you can say that infinitely. You can go to like an extreme. But I'm just saying, like there are real situations right now that people are dealing with. There's real things that you need to focus on, especially like either politically or just in your life. You need to focus, get hone things, get um make sure you have enough money saved, take care of your families, do all this kind of stuff, doing real life stuff. There's a lot of that stuff that everybody needs to be taken care of, and I see a lot of people who just they neglect that because of the fact that they're into this whole perpetual outrage machine. either they're, either they're profiting off of it, or they get suckered into it by these people who are selling it on YouTube. And I guess as a closing sort of statement here, what you should be aware of is beware of rage merchants and beware of black pill merchants. Both are one and equal the same. Black pill merchants want you to basically tell you the world is over, everything sucks, so you may as well just not try to exist in the best way possible. Um, I'm trying to keep that YouTube friendly there. But like, basically, like, there's no point in living anymore. The black pill merchants, and then on the other hand, you have the rage bait merchants, which are just like, oh, look at this, look at what this person like tweeted now, like, oh, they're offending me, and so therefore, because this person's offending me, then then all of you should be outraged, and it's just it's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I would much rather I would much rather deal with the white pills. I wanted to. I'm gonna try to be more white pill lit. Like it's very hard. It's the toughest pill to swallow, obviously. But I'm trying to be be looking toward the future, and with two young kids, I want to have a positive vision, and I want things to get better. And this feud about Tim Pool, the quartering, all this, who cares? Like, yeah, why do you care? Like, no one should no one should worry about this kind of stuff whenever you can. There's a lot of other stuff you need to be focused on. And that's just my notes to you. Beware of these sort of rage merchants. Don't, like, you can observe it. I was an observer of the Temple, quartering situation, but don't let yourself become emotionally invested in these situations, because they're not. There's a time and a place. I guess it is to be outraged about certain things. If they're trying to do things to your children and like trying to mind brainwash your kids, like people trying to brainwash your kids into all kinds of different political ideology or whatever kind of thing. Yes, be outraged, but like if it's something goofy like this, like Tim Pool and the quartering have a spat, like, no, don't let yourself be sucked into this kind of stuff. Like, learn to manage that, and hone that skill, and try to make sure when you're delineating, like, what is this important for me to actually be upset, and act accordingly, behave accordingly. That's all I have for this video. Beware of the rage merchants or the black pill merchants, and you have yourself a good day, and check out all the links in the description. If you like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out all my links in the description for everything that you need to, everywhere else you can find me. So that's Trace from Trace Think Tank, and I'm signing out.